All right, we might as well get started here. I want to welcome y'all to the Brazosport Museum here. I'm Wayne Humbert. I'm current president of the organization. We've had this marks 50 years. Wasn't all in this place. We've been here 40. We were downtown for 10. But certainly, I'd like to thank the folks that certainly some of my ladies here that have really been helping and whatnot. Our caterer, congratulations. But I guess to say a few words and just get started so we can get on down the road and get to the good stuff. They're cutting cake. Everybody probably gonna want cake. In the early '60s, Mildred Tate, had the idea of a museum where the children could learn about shells and natural environment and so forth. She joined with a teacher, Mac Boyette, and they set up a museum in an unused room in the Brazosport Resource Center. As it grew and became popular, space was needed, and I guess they was found in downtown Lake Jackson. November 5th, 1966, the Brazosport Museum opened its door to the public. Again, popularity and growth led to the larger facility in '76. As they were looking, they got involved with some other folks, and they said, well, why just stop there? And the bigger complex was dreamed, and the Fine Arts Center came to be. And so in '76, then we moved into this location, along with some other folks. Certainly, and I think so this is where we are today. Certainly, we'd like to thank all the people whose donors. We've been real fortunate. We've gotten some great gifts and donations, and of which we've managed to purchase a lot of things. But a lot of this was gifted to us by somebody. So certainly, we wish to thank those. And we want to thank all our members whose support's kept us going for the last 50 years or so. Our greatest thank goes to the volunteers that help us, give their time and talents to keep the door open, keep, design some of the exhibits, teach some of these classes, help train some folks. There are a few folks, we just to say there were kind of some of the folks that were here at the beginning and they're still here, which is kind of a nice thing. And one of them, unfortunately, Nancy Smith, she had to leave. I mean, she's probably the oldest matriarch. Now, we're disappointed in Gal Kate Shaw. She should have been here. She told us that the only time she comes is when we feed her. Maybe we didn't tell her there was food, so she didn't show. I don't know. But one of the other old timers is Janie Premier. So Janie. Oh, we got it. I'm sorry.
Not old timers, long timers.
Long timers, that's right, long timers. And the other long timer is Pat McCain. I guess technically she's sort of been here since the beginning, since her mother was Mildred Tate, which is obviously the one that got all the seashells and things. And certainly she's here with a lot of her family. Now, we want to thank all y'all for your years of support and whatnot. Were you going to do a poem?
Yes. Okay.
Are you going to do it right now?
Whatever you want me to.
Right now. You got 3 minutes.
Oh, I take longer than that.
You got it with you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to get out of your way then.
Well, can I finish your speech or?
I don't got but 2 lines left, so.
I just want to thank all of you for being here. It's an honor and a privilege to be associated with all of you and to be carrying on my mother's legacy. She had a plan and a dream in her head, and whether we liked it or not, she pushed us all to get through to it. And just being here in the museum, you can learn so many things. I've been volunteering for a long time, and I'm still learning things. Did all of you know that a seashell gives birth and lays eggs? I mean, I didn't know that. I had to study and find out. And did you know that the female seahorse was smart enough to convince the male seahorse to carry babies? I mean, really? Did you know that birds can make a nest that's about that long by weaving it? You can find it back around the corner. If you just walk around there's so much history and so much to learn. And like I say, I've been doing it a long time, and every time I come in here and walk around, I learn something new every day. My daughter Debbie couldn't be here tonight, or my other daughter Pamela, because they're at a concert, Lindsey Sterling concert in Houston, and that was more important than being here tonight. So I'll forgive them, but they will be here tomorrow. Debbie, when she was 11 years old, with the direction of my mother, helped put all that sand over there and place the seashells just exactly where my mother wanted them. And believe me, when Mildred Tate told you to do something, I did it. Mother had a mission and a dream and a desire to just let everybody learn. Debbie has been involved with the museum quite a bit. She wrote another poem that's at the end of this first display. And she wrote that about 10 years ago. So Debbie is a Christian music songwriter. And we originally asked her if she would create a song for us tonight. And she said, Mom, how do you write a song about snakes and birds and butterflies and fossils and seashells and reptiles, and how do you create that into a song? And I said, well, I don't know, but do it. She says, well, how about I write a poem? And I said, okay, I've written some of your poems, so we'll take a poem. So this is the poem that Debbie has written, and I apologize for not being here, but Lindsey Sterling has top priority tonight. This poem that Debbie has written, and she wrote it in about 10 minutes, is called 50 Years of Science. It started with a shell, the wonder of the sea, plus one who loved to find these jewels and solve their mystery. These tiny gifts from God, just strewn upon the beach, inspired her to collect and learn, and then begin to teach. As others shared her passion and her collections grew, they said these creatures of the sea should be out for public view. And so she formed a club, and they soon ran out of space. So she started asking all her friends if they knew of maybe a bigger place. The community soon rallied. They made her dream come true. A museum built not just for shells, but for other wonders too. A place where kids could learn and not listening in silence, but free to touch and laugh and dream. A museum of natural science. From dinosaurs to minerals, rocks, and fossils too. Archaeology, wildlife, butterflies, and even dino poo. These are shells from far and near, the largest to the small. The lightning well, our great state shell, was proposed within these walls. There's something here for all, and Mildred would be proud. For 50 years, this place has stood and brought in quite the crowds. So it started with a shell and a woman that we all adored. We're blessed to have this museum here. Now here's to 50 more. That's quite a poem, wasn't it?
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
All right. I guess at that point,
Did you mention that the HEB did all the catering?
I did way back early on.
But I think we should give them a hand because I think it's this is your preview of the Madrigal dinner because some of this is on their menu. So, and if you haven't bought your ticket, Wes knows.
And I can tell you all about it.
Did you introduce Wes?
Well, Wes Copeland is the administrative director or executive whatever of the center here. Matt Edwards over here is the president of BPAC.
And they're both waiting for your input.
Anyway, like I said, we certainly want to thank the people, the past folks, the volunteers that have helped, the donors. Certainly, I'd like to thank my ladies that helped set this up. I mean, you wouldn't believe some of the. Well, we just won't go there because I'm gonna get in trouble as it is. But like I say, it's been fun. It's good. It's pretty. We'll have some more public things tomorrow. We said a lot of this was donated by various folks for whatever reason. We've been real fortunate. Some of it comes from as simple as like the mosasaur that's up there. The guy originally bought that, intended to put it behind his couch in his new house. And the wife said, no. And he says, well, it looks pretty good there. Why don't y'all keep it? Well, okay. And I like the jade boat, same kind of thing. The guy found that over in Jeters and Angleton and snapped it up, went home, and the wife said, not in my house. And there it sits. So anyway, and some of it people intentionally gave for other reasons, but like I say, we were happy, we're proud to get them and whatnot. We've kind of a little bit landlocked. I'm not know that I want to double my space, but hey, it could happen. But now, having said all that, the reason some of y'all maybe wanted to come here, we have this young man that's been around. He's a whirlwind of stuff. He's driving himself crazy. He was going through a major rainstorm, 30-foot visibility last night through Columbus, but he's made it here. He started, well, I won't say he started life, but he started his business down in San Antonio, and now he's basically, his business is going around talking to folks about dinosaurs and so forth and whatnot. And I guess with not much further ado, we'll introduce George Blackie, the Dinosaur George as they call him, and he'll intrigue us with a few words.
Thank you very much. I was very lucky when I had a store back in '98, I think it was, when my friend Brian walked in the door to my store. And I had not met Brian, and he came into my store, and we start talking about fossils and his love of fossils. And he mentioned, I'm a curator of a little museum down in Clute, and if you ever get a chance, you should come by. Well, I travel all over the country, and I love visiting museums. I didn't know what to expect when I walked in here. Honestly, from outside, it doesn't look as big as it does from the inside. It's the most amazing thing. So I came in, and when I walked in the door, honestly, I was stunned. Now, at that time, it would just have the big Allosaurus and some of the other pieces in the window. I couldn't believe that was here. I had no idea it was here. I thought I'd been to every major museum, and the shell collection was extraordinary. Everything was amazing. So I've been so fortunate to be allowed to be associated with the museum. I love it. For all of you whose parents created it and whose family volunteers, and for those of you that volunteer all of your time and all of your effort, I don't know if you really understand the impact you're making on your society, but as somebody from the outside looking in, I can tell you it's incredible. And I guarantee you that there are tens of thousands of kids whose generations will never forget what you all have done here. So I appreciate to be associated with it. You know, it's funny, everybody calls me Dinosaur George. I got so used to that now, I accept it. One day somebody asked me, how did you get interested in dinosaurs? And I said, look, I can remember vividly that Christmas morning. I'll never forget it. I woke up to the smell of coffee, and you all know when you smell coffee and you're a kid, mom and dad are up. So I was wearing those little pajamas with the little feet in them. And it was Christmas morning, which meant time to open the presents. And I hit the ground, and I was moving so fast I couldn't get any traction, so my feet were just spinning. But I started picking up some momentum, and my poor little sister was in the doorway between me and the Christmas tree. And I ran over her like she wasn't even there. And I went sliding up under that tree, and I grabbed those presents, and if it had my name on it, I was ripping them open, and if it didn't, I was slinging them out of the way, and I tore them all open. And I'll never forget, I sat down and I looked, and in front of me there was dinosaur toys, dinosaur puzzles, dinosaur pajamas, dinosaur books. And I looked at my mother and I said, this is the greatest Christmas of all. And she said, George, you're 37 years old. I've been very fortunate to be able to experience a lot, and this I certainly appreciate very much. Tomorrow I'll be speaking at what time? When? 2-ish, but I'll be here prior to that, of course. So if you've got kids or grandkids or anybody that likes them, I'll bring some stuff and I'll do a talk. So please feel free to invite everybody you can. This evening, you've got a choice between listening to me tell you about dead stuff or cake, so I know where I stand. When Wayne called, he said, can you come out here for our 50th anniversary? And I said, Wayne, I'm really busy. He said, we got booze. I said, I'll be there at 6. But I really appreciate it. I hope you guys really realize what you have, because this is truly a jewel of this state. And it is incredible, and had it not been for my friendship with Brian to introduce me to this, I would be missing out. And so thank you for letting me be a part of it. Congratulations on your 50 years, and hopefully we'll all be back. I'll say 20, I don't know if I can make it to 50. But anyway, thank you guys so very much, and again, I'll hang around and talk about any of this stuff if you're interested. Come by tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Thank you.